Hey everyone, it's Ross. Welcome to Season 2, Adventures in the Void Spacecast. This season we're talking about independent and folk science fiction tabletop role-playing games. The following is an actual play of the original Starfaring role-playing game, Classic Traveler, by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. So get your vac suit on, your sidearm ready, and prepare to exit jump space. We've got money to make and worlds to explore, and we hope you'll join us on these adventures. Out here on the Imperial Fringe, it's just us veterans of the Fifth Frontier War keeping the space lanes moving. Free traders like us, still willing to evade the pirates, the terrorists, the zealots, the criminals. They prey on these war-torn ruins of 100 worlds. They call us travelers. We aren't liked, but we're needed. We use our skills we learned in the service to operate starships and earn a buck. We ain't looking for trouble, but it always finds us. When it does, it'll find us ready. I got a 3. I was gonna say that if you had gotten it this time, Alex, I was gonna give you like 1,000 credits but this time it didn't
Is that
happen.
offer still on the table?
This time it came up with Niall. Niall, what happened last time? I think you're muted.
You're muted.
I absolutely am. Last time the group was getting ready to leave, picked up a couple extra crewmates, now included, and began to lead the system when a pirate cruiser started kind of firing warning shots and pulse lasers at us. Evaded to the surface, took shelter under the water, and waited it out while sending a message to a contact to an unknown results to warn them of the cruiser in the area, so that news could be disseminated. Afterwards, we left. We arrived at, can't remember the name system, the system with the hunting lodge.
Bar.
What was it?
Debar.
Debar. Arrived at Debar,
Bars.
and the bar at Debar, and we're at the spaceport, and
With
we
the
started. Yeah,
There's bears. Also.
The bar
oh
bar.
man, it's got layers. And yeah, we try. I feel like I'm leaving something big out, but in transit we talked with the leader of the humanitarian group that y'all have brought along, and she mentioned becoming a sort of a contact in exchange for dropping some of her people off, right? And her and one other, I think, joining the crew, and then we were looking for extra work and stumbled upon a potentially illicit bit of cargo that we kind of left off on, with the crew trying to decide whether or not getting these militarized vehicles was worth it.
Yep. And here you are now. You're on the bar in the bar, and let's see. So just as a reminder, and this image is just a It's just a background. It's just a dice tray. Okay. Dubar is the habitable area where the starport is a dense forest, and it has this like geometric design, kind of 2 layers that hang over the forest, hundreds of feet up over it. And after landing on the pad here, you find that the starport itself, although it's listed as a Class B starport, is mostly vacant. Like there's not a lot going on here. You would need to exit the starport to actually get to the hunting lodge, but they call the starport the hunt port in honor of what brings in the business here, which is hunting. You're at the bar here. It's called the Atlantic Route Lounge, and it is traveler themed, and it has like the task symbol up on some places, and it's got like models of ships, and you can even see a model of your own A-type free trader, your Beowulf type trader. There's stuff hanging from the ceilings and all on the walls. There's paraphernalia everywhere, and inside of the bar are 5 strange alien creatures speaking amongst themselves. And there's also some off-duty cops that are a few tables down, and there's also some travelers here. But you've gone up to the bar, and Niall, the bartender, what's the bartender's name? Let's see.
Was it Donna?
Griffiths. Donna Griffiths. Yeah, that's right. They have an odd although you would know what like a Solomani human is. They look strange, but they don't look like from any world that you've ever seen before. He has made it very clear that he's very fond of travelers, and he says that he has a potential deal, but he wants the money to work it out. And he's found there was kind of a lot of shipments of high-tech, nearly military-grade ATV parts that were left, and the ship never came and picked them up. So he is willing to help you make them disappear. But you'll need to find the buyer on your own, and you'll need to pay him if you want his help doing it. So, we just had that conversation. I assumed that you want to speak with one another.
Well, I know when we had left off, Coleman was, kind of making sure that the off-duty cops were not, preening in, listening in too much, and if he feels reasonably certain that they're not paying attention to this conversation, then he would basically try to find out how much Donna Griffith is looking for.
Yeah, so far you feel confident that they're unaware, and they really are. It does seem like they're off duty, unless things were to change and they were suddenly on duty for some reason. But as of right now, it looks like they're not paying attention to things. The price is 40,000 credits for 3 tons. I think it's double check real fast.
And that's what he's looking for us to front.
That's what he's offering the cargo for.
Yeah, there are 3 tons. Each ton is 40,000 credits.
Okay.
And this would be a chance actually to somebody has bribery or admin or anything like that. You
Yeah.
could step in and see if you could lower the price if anybody's got
Yeah.
one of those.
That's what we're doing. That's what I'm going to try to do.
All right, what do you say to him, Bellamy?
Sort of introduce myself when I see our new crew member negotiating a business deal.
The offer was made. Niall's not deciding on anything. He's the new hand on the ship.
I
that's
pull
why he's
up a
being the
chair.
crew.
Pull up a chair for a friendly drink.
All right. Yeah, he gives you a drink.
Relevant
Can you hear me?
section. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So that's just going to be a straight 2d6 roll here.
Well, what do you say? I mean, you hear all this go down, and
Well-
then yeah.
So tell me more about this stuff. How did it get here?
Sure. Fact is, I don't know. Somebody was coming through, moving the parts into the Iterate sector, and they left it and never came back. That's the key thing. It's been sitting here for months.
Why haven't you sold it?
I don't have a ship.
No other travelers been interested?
None of them have caught my eye. None of them have come strolling through with a Jump 1 ship, a Vargar. And looks like.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
well, 40,000 though. You say these things have been sitting around a while.
Well,
You're eager to have them off your hands. Let's be serious here.
yeah, I got to make some money. He's taken aback by this. All right, let's see. Let's see how it goes. I roll a 2d6, and then you've got admin. Oh no! Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I
What do you-
got to roll.
What, do you think I'm stupid?
Yeah, there it goes. There it is. There's Bellamy. Yep.
What are you trying to pull here, buddy?
We wonder why Bellamy's working out here in this part of the galaxy. All right. So I also rolled really bad on the reaction roll. He looks at you and some indignation curls along the edges of his mouth and eyes, and he says, "Well, it's no skin off my back. I'd be taking a risk to get it to you anyways. I just happened to note that it doesn't look like there's any cargo going out."
Well, I guess I'll have to find out for myself. I'll stand up. Forget this guy. Rip off. Can't believe it. Never heard it's like 40,000.
Yeah.
Drug on the market. Good luck moving them yourself, buddy.
What do you think? What do you think, Books?
Yeah, I think I'm just observing this to make sure everything is going smooth. But I agree with the captain. Yeah, I'm following his lead.
All right. What about you, Chapman? What do you think?
I mean, I like the idea of taking up this offer, but this is, I think I said last time, as soon as Niall got the offer, I was like, that's a question for the captain.
All right. And then, lastly, Coleman and Niall, what do you all think?
I mean, I am new to the merchant life, and so I wouldn't know a good deal if it, but I mean, like, it's a lot of credits to, and we're struggling to come up with that next payment anyway, and he's looking to get all this money up front, and we're just doing it on a hunch. I think we could pass.
120,000. That's almost every. That leaves us almost barely enough for a few jumps worth.
I think
Yeah,
you're
that-
cutting in and out. I think. Does Discord have your microphone selected as the device? That might be that, but I'm sorry, Books. What were you gonna say?
We're just going to put it on push to talk for now. Is that better?
That is better.
It is.
Yeah, I got to adjust some things. But I'll leave it like this for now.
Go ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, okay.
I think that might have been somebody else, or maybe I
Well,
clicked.
I
the
was
wrong
gonna
thing.
I was gonna try to beckon Chapman over. Like, okay, tell me I'm not crazy.
I guess I'm not busy. I haven't like addressed what my own actions are in the bar, so sure.
Well, tell me I'm not crazy. I just we don't have the money for this, right? It's too much of a risk, right?
This is what I want Shipley around for. They actually know about money. Well, we weren't planning on probably likely getting any inside of DeBar, were we? Were we thinking that we were just gonna get our next paycheck at Flammarion?
Well, what paycheck is that again?
A paycheck.
Or you mean the next
our
job,
next
hopefully?
Potential
Next-
cargo and maybe
cargo.
passengers.
Yeah, I mean that makes the most sense, but I was gonna try to look for something. But 3 tons is something that
Now, just to be clear, did he tell us specifically where it is yet, or just left behind on the docks?
Actually, I rolled this, but I think maybe I didn't. So I think I've made 2 mistakes here. The first one is I think you do determine the actual value on both ends. So you can also do that. Well, no, you got a 1. Yeah, no, it's actually quite bad. That's what it is. That's quite bad. Actually, it's a lot more. That's what it is. Yeah, he's offering to sell them for a very high price. Because you rolled a 2, right?
correct.
Yeah. So it's like 40. Because that was actually the base price. Because I thought it's like a modified good. It's not just regular ATVs. But it is actually 40. Yeah, it's 68,000 per ton.
What's the margin of profit on these things? We don't even know.
You would have to
We don't
max
know.
it out. You would have to get a 12
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
higher.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this is worth it if there's potential for just like regular cargo without all these complications attached.
Yeah, it's stuff that can get us in trouble. It's stuff that was going in the other direction than where we're going, and it would remove all of our liquid capital. So it seems like it's worth ignoring for now. Maybe next time we're through, and he's still sitting on it, we can convince him, or otherwise.
Come back in a few months. And it's
How
still
about now,
there.
sucker?
Yeah, maybe when there's less ears in the room.
All right, so you tell him no. He's not offended, except by Bellamy, who he just likes very much. Yeah. So what do you all do next? Let's see.
Well,
Yeah, Bellamy.
I'd like to make an. I mean, I guess that guy would have been the only streetwise role possible in this place, unless we wanted to go
Up
down
to the Bears.
to the lodge. Well, to the lodge anyway. But I would like to at least make one attempt at an admin role, if there's any sort of.
Well, rather than making a roll, what are you trying to do?
I'm looking for any other official channels that might have cargo lots available.
Right.
Either cargo lots or or just any place that might. Yeah, cargo lots, I guess first.
Yeah. So
What about the travelers that were at the bar? You think talking to them might be a good idea?
I
You
feel
might
like
have the lay of the land better.
that's a good idea, definitely for somebody else to attempt. Yeah, one of you guys should do that for sure. Bellamy would see them in a paranoid way as competitors right now, and
All right.
so maybe you can get a line on whatever they are into or turned away from or something. I don't know, but
Books is just about as charming as our dear captain. So, Andrew, if you want Chapman to accompany you to do that, we can.
Yeah, let's go for it.
yeah, and just to answer the previous question, I think I mentioned it last time. So as soon as you came in, you asked about cargo and passengers. You can assume every time you come into a starport that board will be available in the same manner that you would have like a departure arrival board. Like, so you'll be able to see right. It won't be veiled in any way what's officially available to take. Unfortunately, there are no cargo lots. There are passengers. There are going to Flammarion 6 middle and 6 low, and going to Astelton 5 middle and 5 low. However, I believe you are already double bunked.
yeah, but none of our low berths are taken.
Indeed, you do have low berth passengers. Be fun for me to experience, and someone will have to make a medic check to see if they don't die. Apparently,
Well, that's
So,
not our concern. That's for
Indeed,
when
that's their
they
problem, right?
they get delivered one way or the other.
they
That is
sign-
not our concern.
they
Then we
sign
get
the
to do
paper.
the low
That's
bet, right?
what's
Or
that?
whatever. What's the
Low
red-
birth lottery.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
low worth lottery. Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Oh boy. Well, an up and coming future problem. We'll look at that in a second. But in the meantime, so books. You said you want to go and talk to the travelers.
Yes, with Chapman.
Now, I'm really thankful now that I'm living the life of a traveler instead of whoever it is who has to take low berth.
Yeah, you come up and they can instantly see that you are travelers. There are 4 of them, and they let's see. They raise a glass as you approach.
Oh, I would buy them all around, and then I'd walk over with Chapman and introduce myself. Introduce Chapman, and then just start small talk for a little bit. Ask him about, what they've been doing. Excuse me. And then what is the captain looking for specifically? Tell me.
Oh, well, just have a conversation and gather any information about what's going on, if there's anything they're into here in Debar, or maybe that they didn't want. I mean, it's more like just say, hey, how's it going? Natural conversation, just a natural conversation between travelers. Hey, what's up? We're going this way. No, it doesn't have to be any.
That's fine. Books. So you said that you just start talking to them. Okay. Well, they all have different, varied, and sometimes strange complexions. Now, this is not abnormal for the Vlani humans that occupy here in the Imperial Fringe. They're all from different worlds, and sometimes even from just entirely different sectors. So, like, the person that you start speaking to is a wispy, tall man with pale yellowish skin, but sometimes blue tint around veins and eyes and around his fingernails and places. It has a bluish tint to it. And he introduces himself as Pascal. And he says, yeah, we're with the Gypsy Moth. It's an A2. You ever been on an A2?
No, I've been on an A1, but never been on an A2 before.
Oh. It's nice and roomy, more so than an A1. And we can get in and out of little ports like this. We're just stopping through to get fuel, though. Just an odd stop for us. We got a load of passengers. Even got extra passenger bays for this run. Going into Iterati.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
You know something we don't?
If you get a pass through, well, actually, would I know what kind of jump capability their ship would have based on what he said?
Yeah, you all have been on an A2. The August Gold was a free trader A2. But yeah, it could vary. But it either jump 1 or 2 usually.
Whatever you do, don't find yourself stuck on Raleigh. It'll suck you in.
No kidding.
Worst pit stop in the galaxy on your way to Iterati.
Wow. Well, it's a little bit strange that we got off the off route and ended up here in Debar. So yeah, I think we'll just head straight to Iterati. But Raleigh's bad. It's a bad place, huh?
Well, it's in a bad way. Oh yeah, it's like anarchy there right now, and where it is an anarchic, it's somehow even worse.
One of the Oh, go ahead, Books.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, you'd want to stay clear away from there.
One of the travelers, a dark-skinned man, he says, these savages, aliens even. And he looks over, at
the Aslans?
Yeah, at the Aslan. He doesn't like. I don't mean to say that he like yells it out loud, or something, but he just says it.
I don't want to be seen with this guy.
Over the table, he's just like, that's just how it is out here on the fringe, and they work with murderers and these backwater scum like the sword worlders and aliens and what a mess. This place is just gonna stay a mess until the Imperium cleans this place up.
I want to respond delicately, but honestly, I don't want to, just say whatever.
You don't want to start a bar
hear.
fight?
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, my fist clenches when he says all that. I'm like, well, the kind of lifestyle we lead, we've kind of learned that we take friends wherever we can find them. Sometimes you're in a jam and you don't have the luxury of being picky about who your allies are exactly.
Pascal gives a look to his friend Sterling and is just like, "Don't mind my friend here. He's had some bad times, like we all have, right? So you're right, of course. But thank you for the advice. I'll pass it on to the first mate that we'll try to skip Raleigh.
Maybe you can help me. Do you guys have any good tips on how to keep pirates at bay? Because my doctor says I really got to cut those out of my diet. You guys look like you know what you're doing.
Everybody laughs. Well, a couple of pulse lasers and a sandcaster, they don't hurt.
They don't? Well, that's what I'm trying to do with those. I will order a round of drinks for this table.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
I think at this point, I would lead in and say, so you hear anything about any work around these parts?
So Sterling answers the question about work. The shorter, dark-skinned, kind of xenophobic guy. He says, "Yeah, if you want work, you have to leave the starport and you gotta find one of these nobles that work at the lodge. That's what it comes down to. I hear sometimes about jobs that go through there, but there's nothing else really going on here. If you ask me, this starport's kind of a waste of money, but I guess it's their money to waste." And to the what's the thing we're saying, Chapman? Oh yeah, pirates. When you give them drinks, to the question of pirates, they suggest. Pascal says, "Well, when it comes down to it, do you tell them that you don't have guns, that you're not armed?"
Not unless directly asked, and I still might be a little bit.
They would be able to tell
Withholding.
unless you had weapons that could be concealed, like whatever those are called, pop-out weapons or whatever.
Oh, sorry. You meant on our person, not on our ship.
No, on the ship, yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Then you think about, like, concealable weapons on our ship. No, I probably wouldn't bring it up unless they asked.
Well, in that case,
I mostly said that to break the tension, win them over.
Yeah. Nonetheless, he says, usually if you take your pulse lasers and you show that you're willing to stand up to a pirate vessel, if you could go toe-to-toe with them at all, it'll scare them off. Just like bullies. You stand up to them, they're not willing to risk their life over it.
That sounds like exactly what my friend here wanted to hear.
And then books, so he suggests that if you want to try to find work, you got to leave the starport and have an inn with the nobles that do the hunting here on Debar.
Okay. The hunting. So I would thank him, and I would ask Sterling. So, Sterling, how'd you end up here? What's your story?
Oh, you mean traveling?
Yes.
I served in His Majesty's Merchant Marines. And, that was a long time ago, though. I've been free trading now for a long time. Now, I think at a certain point, I don't have anywhere else to go anymore, so I just keep going.
I could relate to that. I would raise my glass and take a sip.
All right.
I'll do the same.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, I just want to offer Bellamy, Coleman, Niall. Is there anything else that you all want to do in the bar as well?
Well, I was going to ask if you all would like to accompany me to look for. Well, actually, no. Let's hang out and talk, everybody, all together.
I was going to shadow the captain just as much to kind of see the merchant life, rather than
so
just... I'm sorry.
All I was doing was looking at that board, and it's like, okay, yes to those 6 low berths. That's an easy one. It's a few thousand, but it's something. It'll pay for fuel anyway. And beyond that, let's coordinate on maybe taking a trip over to the hunting lodge and seeing what's going on over there. Unless anybody else has something else to do in the bar here. I don't want to talk to the cops. I don't know how everybody else feels.
No, never.
They're just doing a job.
Yeah, let them. Then it looks like they're on their time off. Why bother them on their on their
Yeah.
blessed few moments of relief here in this clearly bustling metropolis.
All right,
Yeah.
so Bellamy is suggesting you all depart the starport and head to the hunting lodge or its facilities. You all want to do that? Okay. So you actually, real quick, has anybody kept any weapons on their person?
If
Are
we
we-
are
were
allowed
we-
to,
Yeah.
I'm in the habit of always having my auto pistol on me.
What's the etiquette?
Yeah. So you would know the world profile would be available. So it is law level 3, which actually permits machine guns, automatic rifles. Anything military grade would be prohibited. But shotguns, pistols, knives, you could actually take that through customs.
So
Rifles and stuff, or
You could do a rifle, but
Okay, so-
not a assault rifle, submachine gun, laser rifle, laser carbine. Adapted military hardware like a rifle with a scope. I would say it needs to
Fun.
be for hunting.
pistol, cutlass, and we're gonna need our vac suits. Isn't it the environment is tainted or dense or something like that, right?
It's a thin atmosphere, but
Thin.
essentially what it comes down to is if you departed this kind of ecosystem, this biome here, and went out into the planet, it's a wasteland. It's a desert that has there is a particulate that flies off the wastes that has a toxic effect. But so long as you don't do that, you are not at risk.
I'm having trouble. The world has like a forest where they do hunting, but it's also a desert.
You're saying there's like a geodesic dome that contains this biome and preserves it for hunting, or there's
No, this is just this is a lush. It has xenofauna. Like this area is lush, but if you go out hundreds of miles out in the distance, there's a borderland of just like wastes.
You mean to tell me this planet has more than one biome?
I know.
Star
right?
Wars lied to me.
Heresy.
but this area is okay to breathe,
Yes.
or okay,
Yeah, you're
and it
fine.
becomes less so outside of like 100-mile radius or something, or
Right. As far as where the hunting goes down, you don't know that yet.
okay,
gotta find out the lodge, I guess.
yeah. And what's the transportation picture look like?
There is none. It's essentially like you imagine like a lodge, like a ski or a hunting lodge, and there's a whole complex underneath the starport, and that's adjacent, and that's it. And then it's just forest. This place is, to be clear, its population level is 1. It is in the tens of official world inhabitants. So this is what would happen if you wanted to try to investigate that. The first thing is you go to customs, that sits in the center of the starport, and you approach customs and you get the typical customs treatment. They check each of your documents and identification. They check your starship, and they ask each of you what brings you to Debar, since you're an official visitor departing the starport. What do you think, Books?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question is, what brings us to Debar?
Yeah, the customs, the starport customs people here are asking that. Do you, attempt
We're
to-
running from the law. We're wanted terrorists. I don't say that. That was not in character.
I would try to keep it cool and just say, just visiting some friends.
Do you have a residence for these friends? One of the lodge numbers, no doubt. And this customs person gets ready to write it down.
Yeah, it's funny. Funny story. I don't have the lodge number.
I'm gonna cut
but
him off.
Wait.
Our friends are of the fuzzy brown-colored variety out there. We were thinking
Oh, like it's a. You're
about
saying it's like a joke.
going on a trip as an avid outdoorsman.
I do want to hear what Books was going to say too, though. That is funny, though.
I was just gonna say that so the idea was that we would meet our friends at the the lodge, the big tree looking thing by the lodge over there around the corner. I could describe it, but I can't. It's hard to put into words, but yeah, that's where we're gonna meet them. So I don't actually have a number, but if you let me on my way, I could actually run and get them. I'll have them come back, explain the whole thing.
You're killing me.
They look at you with like confusion, like, and then you say the thing about you're here to hunt bears, and then they're just like, and then one of them offers and is like, wait, so it sounds like you don't actually know anyone. Somebody else comes up and says this.
That's why I tried to prevent this confusion.
Well, I mean,
it's
in response to what Chapman was saying, this other customs person comes up. He says, "Look, if you don't know anyone here, our regulation, imperial law, we'll let you go into the world, but I have to warn you, if you don't have access to the lodge or know someone, this is a really savage, horrible world with hardly anything else on it. If you don't, have a grav car or maybe a heavy assault vehicle, maybe a couple of heavy assault vehicles. I'm not sure what you would need. The hunters, they usually have things like that, but I don't know if your ship has heavy equipment like that, but if you don't know anyone here, I wouldn't recommend going, but we're not going to stop you."
I look over at Niall, and I'm like, we have a space Scotsman.
Well, let me ask you this. Does anybody fly their ship out there?
It's an uncontrolled zone. No one's going to stop you from flying your ship out there, but I don't think you're going to find anything of interest.
Well, there's the bears.
You could try and hunt bears with your ship. You could try.
What a ridiculous idea! We're gonna hunt bears.
Listen, what don't we know about these bears? Are they equipped with?
Two of the customs people just shrug at each other and look like these people are crazy.
All right. Look, is there like a gift shop or something where we can learn more about these bears? Some sort of pamphlet or picture book, or?
We sound like the worst forest in the
At
universe.
this point, one of them rubs their temple, and they concede with a sigh. Yes, there's the Star Dancer Trading Company, and then they give, which I'm not going to give off the top of my head, but they give a mandatory, like, ad pitch that they have to give every time it's mentioned.
We know Star Dancer as a company.
I mean, we've been through here before. It was probably mentioned.
Marcello was he went and checked that before, but you can go back if you want to look at what they have.
I think that might have been the session that I was absent, but I was just like, it rings a bell is all.
And do people buy these?
Now, I just want to clarify, you all can continue to explore Debar and the starport, but there's nothing here except giant bears and people that hunt them.
How giant are we talking?
Can we sell them in bulk, or?
I mean, you could try to get one. We can go giant space bear hunting.
We've got a 25 Mike strapped to the cargo bay. Let's go to town.
I will.
I was expecting to use a gun like normal hunting. I didn't realize that was a viable option to go shooting fish in a barrel, like orbital bombardment.
Artillery hunting, yeah.
I will.
Well, that's what I'm just asking if it's worth anything on the market. Is there a reason why these hunters come here other than to just the challenge itself?
They are worth things. Just to skip ahead with a spoiler, Marcello went into the Star Dancer Trading Company, but I don't think anybody else did. There's a ton of bear products in here, and Marcello was able to verify that they are in fact made from bear fur, which somehow makes them worse, as they have this strange scent to them, and they're all kind of uncomfortable to use and hold. Everything is really overpriced. You do find like children's books about bears, you find pamphlets about bears, you find everything about the Debarian bear in Star Dancer Trading Company, the gift shop. But anyways, actually hunting the bears. So if you want to try to use your starship, a gigantic 200-ton displacement starship, to hunt the Debarian bear, here's what I would propose.
We don't have to go that deep with it. It's only if it's worth it. It's probably not worth the time.
Let me simplify it, and then if you're interested, we can crack it apart further. It would be worth a lot of money. You could load it up. You will have a stinking bear carcass, a giant bear carcass in your hold. You'll have to find someone that will buy it, but it is possible, and you will make money. Let me see what this is actually listed. So let me see how much you would make. You would make I mean, giant space bears is not listed. Even though
we could probably,
but
is meat listed? Like,
right? Yes, exactly. So meat is literally listed with textiles. So you would make 4,500 as a base price, and you can get
per ton.
Per ton, and these things are.
These are 4-ton bears.
Right?
I think you said 4 ton, or was it 2 ton? Listen.
As long as they
ship
can't
is not
fly,
going to
right?
pay for itself. Exactly.
I thought we were in this for sport. Everything's about money.
You can have as much fun with it as you want.
They are 4 tons each. So
okay,
you could load up several of these things if you found them. So here, just so you know, in case you just don't want to go any further into this at all, can you do it? Yes. You will make money unless you can't find a buyer, and then you're just going to have a really stinky hold full of dead bears. And they will not survive more than one jump, so you have to figure this out after wherever you're arriving. And then the downside is that, how do I put this? Yes, you'll make money. Yes, your ship and your crew will be at risk.
What do y'all think?
Can you do an atmospheric strike with a 25mm cannon onto a bear out in the open? No, I'm not even going to roll for that. They're going to be hidden. They're going to, they're smart. Otherwise, they would just fly around with spaceships and just bombard the bears and take them all that way.
I think we should hold off. I think we know where this is, so we could always come back. If we find a buyer first, then I think we should come back. But I think there's a lot of risk right now, and it doesn't make any difference. It's not like this is time sensitive.
It would be an amazing way to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's not like, if we don't do this right now, the bears are going to go away or hibernate or something.
No, I agree.
They'll still be here, so
I
think we should find a buyer.
I'm just lamenting an empty cargo hold.
Actually, about hibernating, that's not true. However, you're like multiple jumps away from, like, a whole campaign away from them hibernating, so that's not a problem. But a giant bear ripping your starship apart as you try to shoot it would be a cool way to end the campaign. So, if you want to take that
I would
risk,
like to keep playing, so...
So okay, so we'll table that then.
And Coleman would just say like, you know, I mean, yeah, I can shoot a gun, but I was not a hunter. I don't know anything about tracking bears. Do any of you all know anything like that?
I
Oh,
mean,
No.
Niall's pretty confident that he could hit it, but that guy was talking about bringing armored vehicles and stuff like that in order to hunt. I think it might be a little out of his league with just a rifle.
Yep, understood. We'll move on. Not much point then in going to the lodge, I think.
Think of the rug, though.
Shall we just can I yes, well, I mean, can I suggest that we just pack up then and head on to Flammarion and cut our losses? I was hoping for something nice, but
Yeah.
On the way back, I would mention, you know, would it be worth maybe looking and seeing if we could just take Dane's cargo without paying for it?
sure. But then again, see, there's a couple things we'd have to decide. Basically, it would be nice to resolve never to come this way again. I'd be perfectly happy if we never came this way again.
You say that about everywhere you go. I just want to point that out.
Well, we've only been we've been to DeBar and Raleigh, and I hated both of them.
I've said that a few times about Walston, so.
Walston, we dealt with and were friends. No, you weren't there, but in this timeline, I think.
All of a sudden, Walston sounds like a great place.
Well, it's
How did we
great
come
to
this?
remember.
There was a point in time, young naive Chapman thought the worst thing in the galaxy was bad bureaucracy and fish soup, but
with what's it, Marcello and
Shipley.
Shipley not here, but the three of us everything went great on Walston. We're like heroes there, and but that's a long way away. But this place sucks, man. Raleigh sucks, and DeBar, and in a jump one ship, you can't have a 2 jump stretch that's guaranteed to suck.
I'm okay heading out for Flammarion.
Yeah.
All right.
Never again. Let's resolve together. We don't go spinward of Flammarion if we can at all avoid it, until we get a jump 3 ship. Agreed?
Agreed.
Something to live for there.
Just in case you're curious, I probably should have just had this up once we started talking about planets, but that is DeBar, and you just came from Raleigh, and then you have the options of Flammarion and Asseltine. This is called something. This whole thing is called the Bowman Arm, and then you have this expanse here that nearly ensures the poverty of this place. Essentially, a lot of these worlds are kind of out of the way, but there's a lot of belts. And then they've really suffered as a result of the war. Really both wars, the 4th and 5th Frontier War. And so there's just a lot of decay where this was once maybe there were hopes that things could be different here. And then you have this entire sector called the Iterati sector. And it depends on this one route in. You haven't found the right deal, though, yet. Alright, so you head back out to your ship, get ready for takeoff?
Yep. I forget, did Isabella promise any kind of payment for dropping these people off and all of that? I can't remember.
Not only did she not, she also asked for a loan.
Oh, yeah.
They can't afford to have anybody. They can't afford, to stay there.
Oh, was it 20,000, right?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so you head back out to your to the Lady of Mercia. For those who are not, we didn't really do a tour of the ship. We're going to assume that happened in character, but Free Trader A1 Beowulf type. The top part here, you've got some staterooms, you got some toilets, and then a this is interesting, fire control with one of those iris entrances into it, and then you've got a big cargo hold back here, and then of course you've got the power plant section, and then you've got your crew rooms up here in your cockpit. So you take on 6 desperate, horrified-looking people. I can only guess. Now, without me looking it up, and anybody off the top of their head or remember how this low lottery works? This is the first time we've done it.
Well, I mean, let's see.
It's something like you guess how many people survive, right?
Sounds fun. I'm excited about this.
I'm trying to find it. I skimmed right past it. I'm trying to find it. Was it under travel?
Let's see, passengers. Lesser known aspects of space travel, I think. Right?
That's
Low
probably
passage.
it.
Let's see, so it says they go in cold sleep. You have to throw a 5+ for each passenger. If they've revived, no one has a medic of 2 or better, so nothing there. If anyone has an endurance of 6 or less, they have a -1. Failure to achieve the throw results in the death of the passenger. Refunds or civil liability if a low passenger fails to survive the trip are not allowed. And so I assume it's very clearly agreed upon that if they get in this tube, they are taking their life into their hands. They'll pay 1,000 each, so you get 6,000 credits out of it. They each have baggage that you set neatly aside in a baggage area, 10 kilograms each. It says it is customary for the captain to contribute 10 credits out of each low passage toward a lottery. Each low passenger randomly guesses the number of low passengers who will survive the trip. If the winner does not himself survive, the captain receives all of the money. The ship's steward administers the lottery. Is this too gruesome? It's in the book. Are we doing it?
I mean, it's probably like one of those just realities of space travel, right?
Nobody tell Isabella about this.
I mean,
The
she
lottery
knows,
part.
right? There's
The lottery part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is kind of like a lower decks kind of thing that probably doesn't get talked about. I suppose one question is, do you all permit it as a crew? So this is both in and out of character. You say, we're not going to permit this.
It depends on how much it would be bucking convention.
I mean, the referee, am stoked because I'm like, it's in the book. I want to see it happen. I've never seen it before, so I'm morbidly interested.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if Bellamy would probably be more into it than everybody else because he was used to be a merchant.
Well, is it so? Is the gamble is between the low passengers? Is that what it said?
Yeah, but I do want to propose that you all
Okay.
are in on it too. Like I kind of want to throw that in on there. And anyone who has gambling 1, I want to give you a better chance at it.
So,
Maybe
but
you
the
go
cat,
back
what
and
the
you tweak
cat,
it so you kind of know. That's messed up. Things are
Yeah,
getting worse.
Tank 3 is a little sketch.
I've always said so.
Number 6 is not gonna make it.
I will not try to object to any of this, but I will not take part.
It's okay
I-
in this case to object in and out of character simultaneously, and anyone can veto this because I could see that happening in character. I could see like you all as a crew and someone being like, "Absolutely not, we're not going to do this." I could also totally see it happening, so I'm interested.
Bellamy might consider it bad luck not to put in his 10 credits.
Ooh, maybe it's like a spacer thing where like
Yeah.
you bet in the hopes of not being like it's bad. It's a bad omen if you don't.
You're
bet or
tempting
something.
fate if you don't participate, or if
Wow.
you especially if you
Types are like that, yeah.
if you're the captain, especially like.
Wow, yeah.
So I'll do it.
What do you think, Andrew?
I don't know. Part of me wants to do it. Excuse me. Part of me wants to do it. The lottery and everything. But that's brutal. I'm gonna go with no. That's my that's
no.
my
Episode title.
that's my vote.
I'm fine either way.
All right.
I
So
think
I'm not hearing any
as a-
vetoes, but please tell me now or even later if you are like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to just do this, and that would be fine. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. I think Niall would be for it, despite how AJ feels. So I think it would be appropriate for Niall to participate.
All right. And then lastly, what do you think, Coleman?
I mean, Coleman is
Tim.
not quite a degenerate gambler, but close to it, and so he's all in. And I think my only objection would be the stakes are too small.
Yeah.
So
You gotta put your own life on the
he's going to
line for
defer to the
things.
captain, but
Well, the stakes are not too small for the low berth passengers. That's why they're in low berths. So
Oh. Pencil. Okay, so we're going to start with the crew members betting first. Starting with Niall. How many think will survive out of 6?
Let's see, they roll 5. I'm gonna be optimistic. He's gonna wager 5 are gonna survive.
All right, Coleman.
4.
Bellamy. 1. 0. You're- Nice. All of the passengers are terrified, but they knew this. They knew that they know that, you know, they've probably even done this before. I have to imagine there's a reason. Like, that's the other thing in my mind. Like, what is happening that somebody would do this? There's got to be some reason. Go ahead.
Did we get paid up front?
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
want to make sure that that's like the normal
say that in
way that this
character.
comes to work.
it's like it's an official thing. It's like a
Yeah, I assume most of these people are wanted criminals of some kind or another,
That's
fugitives.
what
that
it
kind of
has to
thing.
be, right? Like, I would imagine they have to be. And this
well,
is a new
okay.
question
No,
to ask
so
here.
so here's the other thing that we're not. It's possible that some of these passengers are not awake. They're already in frozen low berth tubes on a really long journey.
Good
And that
point.
would be the other thing. For people like that, it's actually better than being a traveler because you go to sleep in the core, you wake up 2.5 years later if you survive, and you're in the Spinward Marches or whatever. And
Could
maybe
be medical as well, right? Like someone's in it, like
yeah, you
in
can
a
use
really
you
bad,
can
really
use
Good
injured.
point, too.
you can use low berths to freeze gravely injured people with the survival rate of low berths, if you know, but at least, you know, something, maybe you can get them to a hospital or whatever. At least that in some editions. I don't know if Classic Traveler
Well,
has a provision for
I
that.
won't go full Dungeon Crawl Classics on you and describe their life stories before we make the roll. I do that in DCC, but I won't do that here.
Turns out that they're all like war refugees who like lost their homes and they're just desperate to
Yeah.
get off world. And this is the cheapest travel option.
We'll just do a policy of we don't ask. We don't ask.
Yeah, it was a pretty big jump in price between low and the next level up, though, I think too. So you know, maybe we're talking with traveler amounts of money, but kind of like D&D, the average adventurer's income is significantly higher than the average farmer.
Yes.
Okay, I won't tell you what all they chose. Yeah, I will. Actually, go ahead.
Do Chapman and me get to vote or gamble?
You can, but I thought you said you didn't want to.
Oh, that's for that. Okay, I apologize.
No,
okay.
wait.
Were you issuing a soft veto?
Yeah, no, you can veto, and that is okay. We'll just not do this as a crew. It is fine. Do you just not want to do this part? I'm entertained that it's
No, yeah, I was saying no to the to the whole thing.
Oh, let's do that then.
Initially.
That's
No,
No,
but
it's
now
fine.
this looks fun. This
Wait,
looks
what?
fun. I don't want to ruin it for everyone.
Wait, now that we're murdering, actually.
Now that's already
Yeah.
happened.
Excited everyone is
I'm kinda
gambling
getting
over
into it
lives.
now,
You're like,
I don't know.
okay, I don't want
Yeah,
to be a spoiler
exactly.
sport.
Exactly. I want to see this through now. I want to get in on it. I want to pick a
You
number.
want to get it on. Yeah. It seems like something books would be into, just based on what I was reading.
I've just trying to be a better person, but I can't. I'm not ready. I would. I want to get it out if possible. I'd like to bet 5.
Okay, an interesting thing. I don't know what happens when you roll the same result, but we'll figure that out later. What do you think, Chapman?
Ross,
Yeah?
you said there are 6 of them, and they have to each roll a 5 or better on a d6?
Yeah, on a medic check.
Right. That's fairly simple math for a d6 system.
Is it
The
1d6
average
or 2d6?
Oh, that's a good point.
Actually, that is a good point. I'll double check, but I think it actually might be a.
It's
gotta be
2d6.
Yeah,
It's a
gotta
medical
be.
check.
Gotcha.
That's right. It's a skill
okay.
check,
That makes
that's
more
right.
sense. Never mind.
Now, what did it
Anyway,
say?
yeah, I am-
What did it say about if you had medic 2, which none of us do, I think, but
That's when you get a bonus if you have medic
Oh, okay.
2. This
Alright,
is actually
yeah.
one of the reasons you need a medic on board. I think that's actually a requirement for crew members.
right.
Have a medic 1. Well, anyways, Chapman, what do you think?
I will not partake.
No problem. All right. All right. So they get shuffled out into into low berth that are right here. It says that you have 20. I don't know if that's true.
We have
Sure.
we have 20 low berths, yeah.
Wow.
Because they don't take up much space. And
All right. So you get all of the passengers secured. Let me just take a look at my checklist here. I'm just curious if Archer Starport, passengers, mail, cargo crew, customs, fees. Of course, we do the money math after the session. All right, so you get a clearance to depart. You have no problems doing that, and you lift off from the pad and fly again into the terracotta swirling skies of Debar.
do us proud, Chapman.
Do my best. Okay. About 5 are likely to survive. Could not help but just had to do a little bit of number crunching there for a moment. That's all that's on my mind while we're heading out into hyperspace.
All right.
Thank you, Chapman.
I think I'm going to start leaving this up. Let's get some checks going to determine this. Let's do a pilot check to see how well the departure goes.
Gotcha. Right. I have pilot 1 and dexterity 10. Do those modify my roll?
Yeah, you can take a +2.
Alright. I got a total then of 8.
Total of 8. Okay. So with that, I am going to say that you see the on your displays, you can see planet begin to shrink. In the coming hours, takes you about rest one about.
Calculate.
You start calculating your flight plan. Is that right?
As really, yes. I mean, and I need to get better about stating it ahead of time. But yes, as soon as we take off, as soon as we reboard the ship.
What other software do you have loaded? After you finish calculating, and then what?
We have to. Let's see. So we need maneuver, and at this point, we'd need navigate.
Yeah, I think you'd need navigate to actually do the jump. Maneuver you only need if you plan to maneuver.
Yeah. Well, I guess we don't really need that until we do.
All right. So what 2 programs would you have loaded on your departure after you finish creating a flight plan?
Sorry, just looking at that.
Oh, no problem.
I think. Oh, there we go. Well, let's see. Generate takes up 2.
I'm going to say so long as you announce that you do it, you'll be able to generate and then remove the software, and you'll have generated a flight plan. To me, it's the same as purchasing it. You actually have to run it for at least a round, or however long it says without looking. But okay, so you've got
navigation and jump 1.
Navigation and jump 1 is software?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have navigation and jump 1 loaded. Okay. All right. And then all of a sudden you get a lock-on signal. And there is a 400-ton free trader receive a lock-on signal and an incoming call. You were about 15 minutes away from safe jump distance.
Are they hailing us?
Yes.
Do we answer?
Yeah, let's hear them.
Who's on comms right now, by the way?
If for the same roles as last time, I think it was Niall.
Okay.
It was.
All right. Now, if you open the channel to receive the message, you receive it and open it. So this is not. It's almost simultaneous, but there's a little bit of a delay. Keep that in mind. Get a message that says, drop your thrust, Lady of Mercia to 0, prepare to be boarded. And,
Do they have like an IFF or anything?
Yeah.
This ship is coming towards you. Their transponder is off.
Is there any way that we can discern, like, are there any, like, like naval markings on the side of them, or that we can see? Or I assume they're farther than we can see, but...
Well, that would be a question of what do you do in this round. So for the next
Okay, hold on.
6 minutes or so, do you respond and then try to scan them, or do you I don't know. What do you try to do? Do you try to load different software? What's the plan in this round?
I am trying right now to find the part of the book that reassures me that a level 2 computer can store 4 programs that can four space worth.
If
Of,
you can have 4 programs because you did you did 2 with BIS, right? You say you spend extra money on it. So that has instead of
yeah.
having 2 and then 6 total in programs, you have 4, but they're all loaded at once and you can't have any more. That's the computer 2 with BIS.
So, to clarify, Ross, if we wanted to identify who we think these guys are, is that going to take our turn to do that?
Yeah, but you can do that plus everything else that you want to try to do. Okay, so yeah, you can also. What other 2 programs do you want to have?
I could have sworn that I had the actual full 2, but
no, you can. I think you can have 4 because I remember you spent more money on it.
Okay, all right. Yes, I remember spending anyway. Daggone it! Now's not the time. So I apologize for not having that
auto
knowledge.
evade. I think that's probably what you're getting at. You can have maneuver, auto evade, navigate, jump 1. You can have all that in. You can also attempt to scan them or not. Well, no.
So maneuver and auto evade need to be
Gotcha.
on. I mean, my idea is we just need to. It's 15 minutes. That's 2.5 turns of evading whatever it is they're trying to do, and which we just need to go.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind scanning them to check who they are. It's entirely possible these are just police from DeBar who overheard us maybe making a sketchy deal and suspect we have illicit goods on board.
I mean, there is a bounty, right?
They have their transponder. It could be, sketchy cops that they saw that you have a bounty or something. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so scanning, maneuvering, that is to say you're going to keep flying. You stay on this vector, you're going to try to head out towards a safe jump distance. And then you're going to try to jump. It's going to take 2 turns.
I suppose that's the plan for now, unless information changes that.
All right.
Do we want to respond and try to get more information about who they are and their intentions?
Might as well. Okay. They know who we are.
Yeah, by name. So I guess now we'll respond. And do we know that you said it's 400 ton? What kind of ship was it?
Free trader. 400
Free
ton
trader.
merchant.
So yeah, now we'll respond like free trader. This is Lady Marcia. Please identify and state your intentions.
Okay. Books. Any ideas?
You mean just with the ship?
Yeah, in the situation that you're in right now, is there any, do you have any ideas or anything you want to add?
I mean, not really. I like that we just hailed the other ship. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm curious to see what they say.
All right.
I don't really have anything to add to that, though.
So about 15 minutes passes, and all of this stuff is happening over the first few minutes. Some time passes because that's how long it's going to take either to get some laser fire in on you. They have locked onto you, so there's a chance they may just fire at you. So you're waiting to find out. But then not 15 minutes, about 6 minutes passes. And 2 things happen. You get an incoming call, and you get your scan data back.
Scan data first.
Okay. It says this is the... you are able to determine with the information that you have that this is a free trader. They have turned their transponder back on, and this is the Scarlet Dove.
Does that sound familiar to any of you, gentlemen?
No.
It's the ship of the 4 travelers that you met.
Yeah, it did sound familiar.
Okay.
Wait, I thought it was. Wait. I thought they were the Gypsy Moth.
Oh, sorry, the Gypsy Moth. Yeah.
Okay.
My eyes
Damn it.
crossed. Yeah.
Does that change our plans, Captain? Or do we take this call now?
Oh, take the call, by all means, but stay on track.
Keep in mind, this is the same group that said to fire at bullies. So it could be they were baiting us. But we'll receive the call.
Okay. You get a call that says, "We're just messing with you, Lady of Mercia, but you got to be careful out here. We're getting ready to head to a jump as well. Do you want us to stay starboard of you and keep our scans?
We gotta
open
ram
for
them.
you?"
We gotta kill those assholes. We gotta shoot them out of the sky.
I'm just
I am
gonna.
making full thrust. I'm gonna kamikaze this ship right into them.
No.
I don't. I take deep breaths. I let go of the controls for a sec.
I make a secret mental note to install a co-pilot cutoff between.
Ross, is this because I said that departure from a system is the hardest boss fight in tabletop role-playing games?
Yeah. Well, it's not. That's pretty true. I'll share a laugh and say, "Hey, well, appreciate the offer."
So there's a little delay. It doesn't take 6 minutes. So it takes, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds or whatever, 15 seconds, and then you get back a message. All right, well, we're headed out to a jump distance too, so we'll keep our scanners on, and we'll keep an eye out for you. You can see them kind of heading out this way. You can see Devar getting smaller, and until you are 5 diameters or safe jump distance, anyways, from the planet. I need to mark that because it's coming up and I keep losing it.
Just a parting message to them, like, all right, take care. Careful with those jokes. We're about to follow your advice.
Yeah. You might want to get guns on that ship.
Yeah, we don't actually have a gun.
Okay, I didn't know.
We've got the 25 millimeter, which is not good against spaceships, really, unless. Yeah, you'd have to. Well, yeah. Okay, Ross, I finally found it, and I remember now. I'm afraid I don't have the 2 biz. I have the regular 2,
That's
which
2,
is
and
fine.
You keep 4 in reserve.
You keep
6.
3. It's 3 in capacity, 6 in memory.
Oh. Wait, so you can have 3 active? I thought it was 2.
Yeah. Well, up to 3 space active, right? 3 space worth. Generate by itself takes 2.
Ah, okay. Maybe that's why I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. All right, so, all right, you, before you punch it, who's on engines? Who's doing engine work? I think it's Coleman, right? Or is it Books?
I did navigation last week. I'm competent in either.
Okay, Books, could you chuck 2d6 to see how the engines are doing? See if you have a drive failure.
D6?
Yeah. To see.
Okay. Got it.
Got an 8. And you're not past maintenance. You have an engineer and are using refined fuel. I assume that you purchased fuel. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. The engines are. It looks like maybe the this ash or particulate must have been brought into the engines. They're underperforming, and there's a difference between the two. You think that it'll make the jump just fine, though.
Okay. Good.
All right, and hit the jump. You can see the space around you outside seem to peel away as you enter your own tiny little pocket of existence for the next week. The answer can always just be no. There's not anything you have to do during this week. However, you do have, give or take, 168 hours if there's anything that you want to accomplish on the ship. Yeah, in that case, we can just pop right out of jump. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Books.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just saying, no. Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, no
Is this
problem.
another week-long jump?
You're on the jump for a week, and you pop back out.
I
Space.
am going to study because I'm a student now.
Oh, right.
That's another. I forgot to mention. You should add this to the record of. I spent 100 credits last session doing 2 studies courses during the last jump. I'm going to do that again this time, so that's another 100. Because each one of them is 50, and you can do 2 per week.
Okay.
Spent my whole life heading to Jupiter, just trying to get stupider. Today I'm going to college.
All right, and you pop out. Let's roll Navigator. Roll 2d6 to see if you miss jump, or how well you jump.
Oh,
5.
whoops.
I'm also going to reverse these. You're not going to miss jump, I don't think. I will look. Miss jump 13 plus. You are you jumped at a safe distance. It's more than 100 diameters out. Is what it is. You have refined fuel, naval or scout ship. No. And this is always fun to note that if you can put all those together, particularly if you jump within 100 diameters of a world, it's a +10. On a 16, the ship is instantly destroyed. But that does not happen. And I'm going to reverse that because I want this to be a check that you guys do. So you got a 5. So there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that you arrive in the Flammarian system and your ship is not destroyed.
Well, that's key.
It's an important part of the work. Flammarian is a yellow white dwarf star. There are no gas giants here. There are 9 total worlds. Massive, sprawling military base. This is the key. This is the world that unites an entire sector of the Imperium on the fringe with the Spinward Marches. And a major hub for X-boats and naval vessels. Jump through here. So there's 9 total worlds. It's almost Earth-sized. The planet itself is probably not what's important so much as the high port called Startown Liberty. Just taking I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3. You arrived. So the Flammarion, the main planet, Prime, if you will, is the first planet from the sun that exists kind of in that Goldilocks zone. It's ideal for the construction of this high port and everything. Unfortunately for you all, you not arrive super close by. You arrive 2 days out. You're about
And
you're about 120 million 120 million kilometers away.
right, do another hyperspace jump, but just a really tiny one. You guys think you can thread that needle?
Just aim off to the side a little bit, so if you miss.
The thing is, I think that's technically possible, but it would still take a week. So you could do
That's right.
2 days at high danger, or technically possible, but a week. I don't. That's my interpretation of the jump rules, because I might, but I don't know if that's just too small, or if that would add difficulty or what.
So then it's up to just really time and fuel cost, right? So
That's excellent point. We actually can't do it because we don't have. We just expended
I'm
our.
just kidding.
It's fun to think about though, because you could try it and end up further away too. So there's also that. So it's fun to think about that. Software and systems on arrival. What are your immediate actions? Are you just pop
Maneuver.
out and jump? I assume everybody's strapped in, vac suits on, and weapons. All crew are alert and awake.
It's always maneuver and auto evade and anti-hijack.
Okay, anti-hijack, maneuver, auto evade when you come out. Okay, so you come out.
And anti-hijack just applies negative DMs to attempts by passengers to do things internally in the ship. And also, if any boarding parties were to get on board, it does the same kind of thing.
That is a possibility anytime you're a skipper. If you're skipping and you're not paying your mortgage, there's a chance a bounty hunter will conceal themselves in your ship, among other things. They're specifically trained to try to get into the cockpit, disable everyone, and take over. Okay. 6.
I think
Go ahead. I'm looking for the goal just to see.
we're 2 days out. That means we should be able to contact Flammarion Highport and maybe let them know that we might need it. They might want to send a patrol out this way because we're just an unarmed free trader making our way. That's my idea.
Sounds smart.
Now the
system
down
doesn't have a gas giant.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask. This system doesn't have a gas giant, right?
It does not. You are currently closer to the second planet in terms of where it is orbiting the main star than you are to Flammarion. So you're kind of like going across to Flammarion from where you are. And there are no gas giants. There's 9 total planets.
The downside of contacting them is if our warrant has somehow made its way here before us, which I actually kind of doubt, but if it has, you know what? If it has, there's not a daggone thing we can do about it. So.
All right. So what do you all think? You think sending out a general message to say, hey, if you can provide an escort or security, we would appreciate it, something like that? What do you all think? Yeah? All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, you do that, and you get a response back. This is the IISS Raptor. We have you, now, this ship is much further, to be clear, okay? They're probably, I don't know, 700,000 kilometers away. We're doing our regular patrol of this part of the system, and just so happens that you're along it, Lady of Mercia.
Well, God be with you.
All right. So for the next 2 days. It's just open space right now, to be clear. When all of a sudden you start getting indications behind you, something is happening. Ship closer to the second planet opens fire on this scout vessel, and over the
Not the
next
gypsy moth, is it?
No, and you can tell this is a 600-ton retrofitted liner. Clear to you. They are under attack.
I'm sure they've sent their own distress signal, but in case their stuff has been damaged, maybe we should send one of our own.
Agreed. We'll send that.
Yeah, you start receiving a general broadcast on the emergency frequency that was used for common traffic. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is the IISS Raptor. Computers are down, maneuvers down, unable to jump. Any Imperial naval ship in this in the system, please respond. Hear this, and yeah, and then you said that you relay a signal as well.
Yes.
Yeah, just kind of
Maybe
echoing
we-
their, like, amplifying their message.
Okay.
Shall we make sure that we record as much information from the sensors as possible about this vessel that's attacking?
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
All right. They are proudly broadcasting on their transponder the S code, the thing, all the details of their vessel. This was once a luxury liner, and it has been altered and retrofitted with all kinds of weapons. And it has, I mean, you're not sure, but based on the damage that the scout vessel has taken in the past 45 minutes, it must be fairly well armed. That is to say, more than one battery at least, if it's using pulse lasers. Anyways, it claims to be has an ominous name, just the Retribution. It's obviously been renamed. Well, probably didn't come off the dock as a luxury liner called the Retribution. And what do? Keep flying, or do you cut everything and go
Yeah.
silent running? Or...
I mean, we can't do anything to support them in combat, right? That'd be
No.
suicide at this point.
Captain has forbid me from ramming, so no.
They're heavily outmassed. And you said their call said that they can't maneuver.
Yeah, the scout vessel has lost all of its computer system, its ability to maneuver or jump. They have, within 30 minutes, disabled it from being able to get away. And it looks like they're closing on it.
Okay, well, let's continue on at max speed before we cut everything. Or maybe... Ooh. Okay, what do you think? Take us in a...
Some options.
You know what? Take us straight up. Take us straight up.
Okay.
Perpendicular to the elliptical...
What's
the
the
ecliptic.
intention? Are you just trying to increase the distance?
We
or are you
no,
trying to-
we go straight up and we cut with a single burst at like max speed, and then we cut everything.
Okay.
And we
So-
wait.
So your intention is to juke. You're trying to change the path that you're on so that you can
Mm-hmm.
then cut and go silent, running in a different direction.
Yeah, so they're
And-
not even. It won't be even on the plane that they're actually looking at.
Right.
I mean, everything in a solar system happens on the ecliptic plane, so if we put ourselves as far off it as possible, it should at least be harder to locate us.
Right. Books, what do you think? And Holman.
I think, excuse me, I think we should help. I know it seems like a suicide mission, but if there's any way that we could help, even if it's just a distraction, I don't know. I think it would be good to gain some favor at this point. I think we're smart enough to come up with a way that won't kill us immediately, you know.
Okay. What do you think, Coleman?
I don't know what kind of distraction we could do, and I'm not keen on getting blasted in space.
Sure. Any ideas for like how you could cause a distraction or delay or something, Books?
Maybe we could do like a false radio signal and pretend that like a fleet's on the way to help. Something like that.
Yeah, something that's very clear to you all is this is a major naval hub, and this is pretty audacious. Sort of a dire portent, in fact. Certainly a fleet is on the way, like armed cruisers, like system cruisers. If probably scouts, like will arrive first. Maybe I don't know, but like the Navy is going to try to respond. There's no doubt about that. But you're saying is like, hey, we're going to try to intimidate them, convince them that like there's no way they're going to get out of this unless they turn tail right now. Because right now, they're about maybe 20 minutes out, a few turns away from reaching this vessel. And they haven't destroyed the vessel, which means that they're going to do something to it. So you're going to try to intimidate them and scare them off, right? Is that the idea?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's my plan.
All right. So how do you do that? Break it down for me. This daring plan.
So yeah, I would get on the comms and put out a message and pretend to be a Imperial ship and say that we're on to you. We're gonna give you this chance to hightail it out of here immediately, or else we're gonna fire upon you.
Gotcha. All right, and then I assume this is going to take some kind of tech sorcery. You don't have Marcello here, but somebody's going to have to fiddle with the send a different signal and try to confuse that in some
The
way.
caller ID says "Free Trader, Lady of Mercius."
It's going to read "Giant Imperial Fleet." It's the transponder code. I don't know. Totally, definitely an Imperial Fleet.
There's something to be said for clarity in a time of war.
I'm gonna say, Books, you were in the army. You might not know like the proper like procedure of exactly what to say, but hopefully
Alright,
these people don't
I
know the
love
difference
this
between.
plan. Okay,
So maybe so here's maybe a concrete idea that we could bounce some signals off of any comm satellites. There's got to be some kind of comm satellite network throughout the solar system that boosts communications for if it's an Imperial hub or whatever.
what's the intent to come across as if you are
Make
an
it look
Imperial
like
fleet presence?
make it look like no, we don't. I mean, spoof some comm signals and make and just throw a bunch of military jargon back and forth on comms,
Right.
and send it out to bounce at them from different directions, maybe.
Love it. Okay, I actually think that's a great idea. You don't have to roll for that. I think that you can pull that off. I think the real thing is going to be convincing them that that's the case. So, who wants to be the silver tongue?
Folks, this is your crazy idea. I nominate you.
I thank you. I appreciate that, and I take
Yeah,
that nomination. I'm gonna pass that over to Chapman because Chapman is.
All right, we need a nomination stick. We need a physical nomination stick that people can pass around.
I haven't seen what Coleman's made of yet. He's the new guy. We got to put him on. You know, like this is the moment of truth. Okay.
I wanted to tuck tail and run.
Yeah, but you know military jargon better than most of us, so give it a shot.
What was I in? I was a enlisted Marine. I don't know if that's gonna help.
You were like a former major, right? Or was that
In the Army?
Yeah, but that means you've heard you've been in a bunch of liaison tents listening to...
Okay, well, let's see. I guess... So is the intent to make it sound like multiple vessels are inbound, or if we are the inbound vessel?
You'll be able to do that. So you'll be able to send up a bunch of radio noise and do it in a way that just sounds like random stuff and add in military jargon and signals and stuff. You all have the experience for that. To really pull this off, you'll have one voice actually contact them directly and try to convince them, yeah, we're here, and we're about to turn you into to atoms right now. So
here's my bluff. I'm gonna send out our signal to them. Our threat is retribution. Stand down. You chose the wrong day to interrupt an Imperial training exercise. And I have a lot of flyboys here who would just love to see some real action.
You spend the next 10 minutes or so bouncing these signals and announcing that and sending some... You convince the Raptor that you are like an Imperial naval vessel. And
oh no.
This ship, they take the lie and they turn around and you can see their vectors start to peel away. It looked like they were trying to maybe steal or take hostages or scuttle the ship or something, or maybe even take it entirely, take an Imperial scout vessel and take it for whatever purposes they have, and they leave.
Let's contact the Raptor, see if they need any immediate assistance.
Hail the Raptor. Raptor is Lady Barcia. What's your status? You still taking water?
No. I can't believe. Were we actually talking to the cruiser Indomitable? It's you?
Well, we might be an Indomitable cruiser, but...
What?
Not officially recognized as such by the Imperial, no.
Yeah, I'll are we on like a direct channel, or is this still broadcasting?
It could be direct, yeah, if you want.
I'll do direct, and just like, I'll break it down for them, be like, we, couldn't get to you, we don't have any armament, so, one of our crew came up with the idea to try to bluff and save your necks.
What do you call those things in the Air Force that you just send up that's like an empty plane that you shoot down?
Drones. They're target drones.
Target drones. So they're like, wait a second, you're not a target drone? Wait. This says that Wait, you're just a free trader? Where's the Navy?
I'm sure they're on their way.
We are the Navy.
I mean, can we
yeah.
can we hang out until we detect like whatever incoming?
Sure. Yeah, and
It might be a good chance for us to. You know what? This is the Navy. If the news hasn't reached here yet, their first impression of the Lady of Mercy will be the people who hung their own butts out to try to save a scout ship. That's not bad. Hey, man. Hey, Books. Good job, buddy. Because I was
Thank
definitely ready to just get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that was good outside the box. We didn't really have any options, and then you made one.
So,
Thank you.
a local patrol cruiser and as a hunter-killer, like a pack team of 2 scouts, they eventually show up several hours later. And in that time, you determine that they are not in any medical danger, that they're just dead in the water, unable to maneuver, unable to jump, and unable to change their software package. So they're just dead in the water.
Hey, with that many hours, could we even maybe take a crack at helping them with repairs?
Yes, absolutely. You could go EVA and try to help repair. You want to do that?
Let's go all out, fellas, because we need to make a good impression.
Okay. If that's the case, who is going to go EVA and try to actually repair their jump drive? And who will come on and try to repair their computer systems? This will be either a mechanical or engineering check. The jump drive will be engineering though.
Maneuver, right?
It's their jump drive that's broke. Their jump drive, their J drive, their computer system, and their
Okay. I thought you had said during the combat that they couldn't maneuver.
yeah, because their software.
Well, I guess the computer went down. Yeah.
I apologize. I just was thinking of it incorrectly. Yes, their M drive. It's their M drive, their computer, and their J drive are all down.
I'll do one of them.
Yeah, Coleman's,
I'm willing to EVA.
Now can assist where he can. He doesn't have any noteworthy skills in this area.
I got vac suit 2.
Okay, so starting with Books, you go EVA.
Coleman has an actual mechanical skill, don't
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm mechanical 1 and engineering 1.
Yeah.
So
I've just got the engineering, so that might come in handy.
Did we all get engineering? Was that part of the standard
I
traveler?
think we all have it. Yeah.
We all have it.
engineering 1. I don't know if anybody has more than that.
Well, I have
I know.
electronic 1. If anybody has, I don't know, a busted Walkman.
Actually, you could repair the computer system with that if you want. Anyways, let's just go through all the systems, starting with Books. Roll 2d6 to get a 7. Unless you have a 2 in something. Dang it. Okay. So,
Yeah, missed.
all right. This occurs over, 30 minutes, an hour or so. You get outside the ship and do all that stuff, so it takes a while. Meanwhile, someone else makes their way to where the M drive. So same in the power plant section. Who was that?
That was Captain Bellamy.
Okay. So you're working on the actual maneuver portion of the power plant section. You get it to fire up again, and then someone actually needs to enter the ship. And this is interesting because you are not Scout Service officers, and none of you were in the Scout Service. So there's a little bit of hesitation to allow you near their computers, because you're talking about like a scout ship has top of the line computers and sensors. It's like being in an AWACS or something, it's like all top secret and everything. So, but they need the help. So, yeah.
And you can pull out the card that we're actually working for the Scout Service technically right now.
That's true too. Dang it. Okay, yeah, the computer is not fixed. You guys will get one more chance though on EVA. Actually, you did have Chapman go out, so Chapman, you can attempt it to get a 7.
7.
You have electronics 1?
Electronics 1. Yeah, 1. I got exactly 7.
Nice. All right, you managed to get their computer working. They're able to swap software, and now they can at least maneuver and operate under power, even if they don't jump out of the system. They can also, yeah. So.
I tell them, if your software ever, starts misbehaving like that again, you just want to take the cartridge out, blow into it a few times, put it back in.
Nice. Yeah. And the most amazing thing is the sensor suite comes back up, and now all of a sudden, 600, 700,000 kilometers out, all of a sudden the scout vessel can see scouts. So nothing except short of a military grade, a cruiser, or another scout vessel is going to be able to get close to you all now. So it starts coming back under power. You all can head back to your ship, and ships are approaching hours later. Is there anything that you want to say or do with these the scout crew before they get here?
A lot of glad handing. A lot of, hail fellow, well met, fairly well, it's stuff out here. Yeah, absolutely glad to help.
Business cards too.
Well, I mean, I might whisper to the crew and ask, should we be upfront about the news that's going to come through?
I mean, now is a really good opportunity to be like, hey, we have this problem. We didn't actually do something. Like, explain. I don't know how much. I don't know the particulars of the situation that y'all are in. But from what I understand, it's something y'all were kind of like set up for. Y'all were framed for it. You didn't actually or something like that.
100%. I mean, yes.
Yeah. So
unless Isabella actually is a terrorist and is just really, really good at bluffing. That little session where she was out of our sight when she broke off from the group, she did something horrible.
If that's the case, we are totally screwed.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it.
Now might be the best opportunity, because the longer time goes on, the more it's going to spread and the bigger of a shadow it's going to be.
I agree. I think we should.
I guess if we want to ease into it, we might ask them, is that normal? Is it, do you normally get that kind of attack coming out here, like this close to Flammarion? Knowing already the answer is that it was pretty out of the ordinary, but just trying to ease into the topic of how dangerous this part of the Bowman Arm is getting.
Yeah, they tell you that it's extremely irregular. They say that there are these there's this terrorist organization, and this is becoming a matter of public knowledge that there's it's bordering on being an outright insurrection, across this entire subsector, and they've had attacks like this at multiple major naval bases and several here in Flammarion alone. The Navy's stretched thin, and usually they're just in transit to get into Ederate to patrol the actual Imperial fringe on the border of the Zidani consulate. So,
is that a named group that they're referring to? That's
they claim
bordering on insurrection.
Yeah, that it's the. You will have heard of them.
It's this veteran group. It's this crazy veteran group, right? Probably led by.
They take the name they're like Robinson's Rangers, but they're Rangers. Yeah. Now, the Rangers are like a shadowy sub-organization, like an elite task force that falls under the Imperial Scout Service, but they have been disbanded, as far as you know. but they had operated as kind of like a local entity in Rylanor during the Battle of Rylanor. And yeah, they have they've turned, and they're trying to bring down the duchy.
So
Is that the? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we don't lead with we're in a jam. We'll just, kind of share a little bit of our story. Like, yeah, I mean, we've had our run-ins with pirates and whatnot before, but just recently we were on Raleigh and ran into much nastier characters than we're used to out here in the Bowman Arm. They gave us a lot of trouble. I don't know if you've heard of, I'm going to name drop, it's in my notes somewhere. I don't know why I can never remember this. The Church of Stellar Divinity.
Oh, they have not heard of them.
Well, we were just there 2 jumps ago, and the Governor General of the planet seems to have been ousted from control, and from that, everything, like, all bets are off. And we weren't sure who was in charge anymore, who was speaking on behalf of allegedly being the Imperium when we were there. We just barely made it out.
The person you're speaking with, maybe you do this when you have the opportunity to actually depressurize very briefly when you work on their computer systems. So maybe you have a couple of hours before you go EVA, or you go, make your way back across over to the Lady of Mercy again. So anyways, the first mate, he's like, "It's insane. Somebody's taken over an entire Imperial world," because he doesn't know. Well, look, you lads, you're heroes, and we're gonna make sure it's known. We're gonna put in a report for our boss at the Scout Service Office, and let him know that you've saved all of our lives. Not to mention an entire Imperial Scout vessel. I mean, it's not every day that a free trading outfit comes out here into the black and saves an entire Imperial Scout vessel like that. So we'll make sure it's known.
And the traveler logs this session, you can go ahead and write in "get out of jail free card."
So eventually the patrol cruiser and the 2 scout vessels show up, and since this vessel's kind of limping, they do actually escort you for the next day. There are other vessels that show up on your radar, but this tiny fleet, they wouldn't dare engage at this point. At least nothing you encounter. And
the Rangers, is that the same group that pulled Niall and probably the others out after the battle?
yes. Yeah. Some kind of irregular paramilitary force.
Yeah, we ran into some veterans a few sessions ago, and they explained that the ethos is, the idea is, the Imperium has betrayed them, and they've let the Bowman Arm and the Frontier crumble into anarchy, and it's time for somebody to do something about it, type of thing. That was my impression.
Okay. Better. Yeah, with the nice lights and everything. Okay. So, Startown Liberty. What weapons do you all take? Now, you'll be departing from us now, so you'll probably want to load up everything, take it with you. But everything short of a machine gun can be carried here. Shotguns, pistols, knives, swords, Does anybody? I don't think anybody has anything that big, right? No one has an assault. Actually, you
We
all do
do.
have assault rifles. But
We all have auto rifles at this point.
I assume
but
we're
we're
gonna try to sneak it onto the planet via cargo or something.
and this is a high port though, right?
I'm sorry.
I hit it in the low bird.
Right. Okay. Speaking of low berth, before we run out of time, let's see how it goes. Let's do it. Who's gonna try to wake him up?
I'll take the honor on that.
Oh boy.
So that's
Unless
a
anyone
captain's
else.
burden if I've ever heard one.
Well, you know.
So you make 6 medic rolls, is that right?
So you'll start with passenger 1. Let's see how it goes. All right, passenger 1's up. And then they're sick for a while. Oh, passenger 2 is dead. You don't want to know what they betted anyway. All right, next. He's up. You can't tell if they are desperately sick or not anyways, because they're, they're going to be sick for a while no matter what, so. But their destination was Flammarion. All right, next passenger. I will tell you what this one... Oh, he's alive. You want to know what you want to know what he betted?
None.
Yeah, he was he's a doomer, a nihilist. He betted 0.
All right, I believe there's 2 more to go.
There's 2 more to go. Yes, missing one. All right, so that one's up, and 1 more.
Die. Ah.
Oh no! All right.
Sorry.
5. So let's see. Nile and books. So we come to Nile and books. I don't know if you want to do like a. I know I said gambling 1, but
Well, it's a pool basically, right? That's all it is.
That's right. Yeah. So maybe you just split it. So let's see here.
Yeah.
There's no skill involved.
50, 60, 70, 80, 90 credits. So you each get 45 credits.
Hey.
Okay.
And everybody else loses 10 credits.
Okay.
You guys are gonna buy these poor suckers some drinks with that money, right? Because you ghouls.
All
I have
right.
some food.
Well, how much money did they bring in though? I don't even know what the rate is for low passage.
It's like 1,000 or 2,000 per. It's 1,000, I think, actually.
I don't even know if it's. Yeah, I thought it was in the.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
Startown Liberty. This place smells like a mixture of vomit and pee, alcohol, and cheap perfume floating in the recirculated, endlessly recirculated air, and fried foods. You can hear the din of crowds and music as you pass through the airlock into the Startown. It is full of bars of every kind, very high and very low. Casinos, hotels, dark alleyways where deals are made. And just as you pass off from customs and enter into the Startown, you have most of the offices of the Imperium itself and the starport, as well as what is the name of that bar? Probably lost it again. It's the bar that 2 of you aren't allowed in anymore.
Starhaven Tavern. I know
Starhaven
that
Tavern.
one, and Strove. I don't know. Can't read my own handwriting. Is the dive bar Stove is the dive bar that we went to the one time.
Nice. Yeah. You have
Wait, you mean I'm banned from the Starhaven Tavern for
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, definitely. You got arrested there. So
Get some Groucho Marx glasses.
So you've got the Starhaven Tavern right there. You've got the Starport Authority. Starport Authority is the word I was trying to look for the other day. They're the ones that sell flight plans and stuff. You've got the Scout Services Office. You have the other kind of municipal authorities here. You've got a bunch of warehousing and storage and stuff. All that kind of boring, drab crap. And then right on past that, if you continue past that to your left front beyond customs, is the bright, garish, like eye-burning lights of all the neon signs of Startown Liberty. Now, I'll mention before we end for the night some of the options in case you want to do anything here, and then we'll say goodbye to Nile. for now, at least. But you have the contact of the scout services, so you can check in with him. I think you gathered the data for one planet. I think there was one planet, Raleigh, that you definitely gained the information on. So he's also a patron, and he is the person that received the report on what you did out there. You have the contact for the attorney and Isabella. You can try to find illegal. You can try to go into like the black market and see if you can find goods. I can tell you what's on the cargo board right now. Cargo, 1 major cargo and 4 minor cargo. 22 tons going to Asteltine and 4 low passengers. That's what's on the board going to Asteltine.
When you said 1 major and 4 minor, 22 tons is the total of all of those?
Yeah, because majors are 10 tons and minors are 5 tons. So it's
Are you sure that the major is not 22 tons by itself?
I'll look at it later, but it
Okay,
has the,
all right.
Yeah, it has the math for it, but that's I rolled up.
Well, that's great news. I want to sign up for all of them. No matter how many there are. As soon as I pass that board, click, 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 click. Yes, thank you.
You got it. Your ship starts getting fueled. I assume you want to pay for fuel and for cargo gets loaded, and you can take on 4 more low passengers if you want.
Always.
Go ahead, Chapman.
There are casinos here, right?
There are casinos, so I want to actually write down, have an idea of what you want to do, because instead of just like aimless, I don't want to wonder, if you will. We can, you could explore, but rather I'd like to write some, like, here's what we're going to try to do next time. So what is it that you all want to do next time? What's the goals?
I was gonna say is if this is Niall is departing from the Lady of Mercia, then I wanna go out to the casino with him for at least just this one night that we're here, this first night of Flammarion. Finally have some fun after this very stressful last couple weeks.
Okay, let's see if we can do that real quick.
Coleman, you know a thing or two about gambling, right?
Oh yeah, he's definitely planning on getting in. Roughly he's gonna play with a stake of around 6,000 credits.
Whoa. Okay, that's a high stakes table.
For the duration. I mean, not necessarily all in one pot type of thing. It's just
Let's resolve just this. So you find a nice casino. You can stay here for the night. You can eat for about 60 credits, and there are 3 different card games, or you can just roll to see how much money. Now, this is just for. I'm going to get back to you guys because we can literally gamble as a goal. That can just be an option. But for Chapman, you said that you were taking Niall to the casino, so you guys go to the casino. This is for Niall specifically. You don't have to though. We can just say that this happened. Just go and have a good time. What would you like to do? We only have a few minutes.
That's up to AJ, I think.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Let's see here. Find. Real quick if anything happens. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 8. Actually, I think we won't do that tonight, sadly. Let's end the casino. Alright. So, so you guys go to the Lucky Boot Casino. It's nice in here, the food's nice. Got the chance to blow some money if you want and relax for the first time in several weeks. And that's where we say goodbye to Niall for now and make your plans for tomorrow. That's where we'll end the adventure for tonight. Mythic Traveler is a space western merchant classic traveler campaign in the Mythic Mountains RPG Play Club. The music's by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech and Greg Gibson with Timberzeel. Classic Traveler is one of the first tabletop role-playing games, and the first sprawling space simulator game ever created by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. You can find the free facsimile rules of Classic Traveler by Far Future Enterprises in the description. Mythic Mountains RPG is an online play club that focuses on folk RPGs. Those are the RPGs that aren't run or controlled by some huge corporation, and they don't have some set way to play and ain't nobody can tell you how you can play them. We play them however is the right way, and that's the way we want to do it. The table is the authority. We upload our games weekly on YouTube for everyone to enjoy and sit in without performances, fancy equipment, or monetization. It's just a group of people playing folk RPGs our way. You're welcome to join us, but until then, be safe out there between jumps.